Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know
Hey,
what
Nell,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh yeah!
Oh man, this man got the background.
You already know, man. Get that money, man. Get that money. Take to the house. Ain't no easy money. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I
knock
said,
on wood, knock on wood.
Look at the rookies we drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
yeah, put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
You're
you're
last.
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. We out. What is good, everybody? Long time no see. I need a sports pop family. It's your host with the most, Bryce. My dog Kale. You already know what time it is. You see the shirt. Got my Super Bowl swag on. My boy repping his Texans. It's season 2, man. It's season 2. We ain't been on the pod in a couple months. NBA finals wrapped up last time you seen us. We've been chilling in the summer, grinding. But guess what? NFL is back, baby. The best time of the year. Can't wait for football. Last week had the Hall of Fame game. This week, preseason kicks off for real. Got all the teams. Texans play tomorrow. Y'all know we coming with the locks of the year. I needed max bets. You know, we got all that coming. Season 2, like I said, it's going to be a hit, man. Today, we starting it off just like we did last year. Kicking it off, talking about each conference in the NFL. We'll start off with the AFC. Next week, we're going to hit y'all with the NFC. Yeah, man, Kale, welcome back. Let the family know how you've been doing, man. What you've been up to, what we about to get into.
Man, it's long time, man, long time. I think it was about like, man, I know, right? it's like it's almost like, man, when something get taken away from you. It's like, dang, I've been doing this, for a minute now. I just missed it, man. I missed being here, missed you, man. Missed talking sports with you, man. Miss the family they regrew with the pod or whatever. Man, I don't know, man. I miss this, man. I'm just glad to be back. Just happy to be back, really, man.
Ready to get back to it. I ain't even looked at this mic since
Man.
the summer. I had to come back and reset everything up. My dad done tied everything up, kind of put some stuff up. I had to get all reset up, man. Got the monitors going, but yeah, we back, man. I need a sports podcast. Your host with the most. We about to jump into this AFC preview, like I said, kicking it off with the AFC North.
Sir.
Now, I know with all the offseason moves, and we'll get into them as we go throughout this episode, people are, saying the AFC East, one of the toughest divisions, if not the toughest division in the league. You got the AFC West with my Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders. Well, we don't really know yet. But in my opinion, you can make a very sound argument that the AFC North is the most competitive division in football. And I'm ready to tap into this because me and Kid was actually talking about this earlier in our DMs, and we had to stop ourselves. Like, hold up, let's just save it for the pod because I don't want to tell you what I'm thinking just yet. But yeah, man, I'm gonna start it off with the Cincinnati Bengals. Last year, of course, finished first place in this division for the second year in a row. Went to the AFC Championship again, second year in a row. Except this time they caught that L from my Chiefs. Got sent home from Burrowhead. You know what I'm saying? Now obviously, hate injuries. It's football, so injuries are gonna happen. But you want to see all the stars stay healthy. Unfortunately, last week Joe Burrow goes down in training camp with what they're calling the calf strain. All we know as of right now is he's out several weeks, whatever that can mean. 3 weeks, 5 weeks, who knows? Jamar Chase then came out and said, he was dealing with a calf strain last year, and he basically said, hey, Joe, we can handle our own for the first 5 weeks and we'll just rest up. And the soft tissue injury is nothing you really want to mess with too much and try to come back too early. KD strained his calf. he comes back in the finals, tears Achilles. Obviously, I'm not saying that's going to happen to Joe, knock on wood. Pray to God that don't happen. But probably is critical that he doesn't come back too early. But I just want to let the record state, with as deep as the AFC is this year, even if Joe Burrow was playing, I already had the Bengals on the fringe of missing the playoffs. If Joe Burrow can't go for the first couple weeks, they're definitely not making the playoffs. I'll put it on the podcast right now. Set it, mark it down. The Cincinnati Bengals will not make the playoffs if Joe Burrow misses the first couple weeks of the season. I'm gonna tell you why. They start off at Cleveland. I don't know if you know this, but Joe Burrow is 1-4 versus Cleveland all time. For whatever reason, they're his kryptonite. He doesn't play well. He's got 5 interceptions, 5 touchdowns all time versus Cleveland. Last year, he got his first dub, but that was when Deshaun just got back, and Deshaun was obviously garbage last year after missing a whole year of football. Myles Garrett, if he's gonna rush back and play week 1, let's put that scenario out there. You don't want him having to run from Myles Garrett for his life and accidentally getting injured that way, because for whatever reason, that offensive line can't get it together. This offseason, they signed Orlando Brown. Patrick Mahomes just made him look really good. He still was the number 1 pressure tackle in the league. So I'm counting. They're starting off with an L. Then after that, they go home versus the Ravens. Now, remember the last time these two teams played in that wild card. Ravens probably should have won that game if Huntley doesn't fumble at the goal line. Got Lamar Jackson back. Got a bona fide wide receivers corp now in Baltimore. Todd Monken, new offensive coordinator, said he's going to spread it out. Zay Flowers, OBJ, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, now that he got a corpse around him, probably going to ball out again. Might be the second, third best tight end in the league this year. They starting out 0-2, and that's in the division. Only 7 teams are making the playoffs, and there's 8 strong teams in the AFC this year. When you count Chiefs, Chargers, Bengals, Ravens, let's see, who else we got? Buffalo, Miami, New York. Like, somebody's going to have to miss the playoffs. Jacksonville, that's who else I'm forgetting. Coming into this season, those are the 8 contenders you would think of as of right now on paper. If the Bengals are already going to start that far back ahead in their own division, it's going to be kind of tough to, make it out. And so with that being said, if Joe does miss the first few weeks, I got the Bengals finishing 8-9 on the year. I feel like it's just going to be a struggle. They still got a lot of contract stuff to figure out, even though they say they're going to get it done. Joe going to take less money, but Joe's about to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. It just is what it is. I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign T. Higgins realistically, unless T. Higgins takes a big cut. But that's just me. So that's my first hot take of the year. Back on the podcast. I think Cincinnati's missing the playoffs. I know the window is always open, as Joe said, while he's there. But this year, already off to a rough start. They fall behind in the loaded AFC. It's going to be hard to fight back again like they did last year when they started 2-3. How you feeling about Cincy?
Man, that's definitely possible. Most definitely possible. Like you said, never want to see anybody get injured. Never want to see, a top 3 quarterback in the league get injured at that, how much he means to that team, or whatnot. We don't know how serious the injury is. Some saying it's serious, some saying it's not. I'm not really too sure how serious it is. If he does come back, I still think personally, since he is one of the better teams in the AFC, it's hard to believe that with Joe that they are a frenzy team, whatever. They'll be fighting in whatever. Even without Joe, I think they'll still. I'm not expecting him to miss like too much time. Like probably like if he does miss time, it'll probably like first 2 or 3 games, whatever. But I actually got them going 12-5 though this year. I got them beating Cleveland. I'm against Cleveland when we talk about Cleveland. I'm not. Maybe it's because I don't like Deshaun, and we got their pick. Maybe it's because of that. But I don't really see the hype in the Browns this year. We'll get into that though. I think they'll come out and beat Cleveland. It's gonna be obviously it's gonna be a tough game. It's a divisional game, whatever. Um, then they go, Baltimore come to Cincy. I think with Joe or without Joe, I think they lose that game to Baltimore. Last year I predicted Baltimore to win the division, but we all know Lamar was out or whatever. I think this year,
Healthy,
the
yeah.
hell of this year, without a doubt for sure. They should, win this division, whatever. But like I said, I got Cincy going 12-5. So I got them starting off with a win, Cleveland. I got them losing to Baltimore. And then the next 4 weeks, if they can get past the first two games without Joe, I feel like he shouldn't come back till like after that bye week, really, truthfully. So the Rams, I feel like they can beat the Rams. Then they got a road stretch with Tennessee and Arizona. I feel
That's
like
where I got him. I got him dropping that game at Tennessee, and that's where it gets real dicey. Because I really don't like. I'm thinking like if Joe don't play them first 5 weeks, because that's just what Jamar says. So that's what we're gonna roll with right now. But we really don't know. This all could change. But I know Mike Vrabel gonna come with something on that defense, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't even name you Cincinnati's backup quarterback right now.
I can't either. I ain't gonna lie. I can't either.
I really don't know. And their defense, while they have a great defense, they did lose a few key pieces. Jesse Bates on the back end, I think, was a big loss. Knew that was coming because they couldn't come to contract extension last year. But yeah, Tennessee, they could possibly win that game. But I think with Tennessee adding DeAndre Hopkins, and then they got Tannehill back, I think they'll still be a tough opponent because Mike Vrabel is a great coach. Arizona, that better be a dub. If they want to make the playoffs, they can't lose that game for sure, even if Joe isn't playing. And then Seattle, that's a tough game.
That's a tough game. It's at home though. I feel like it's at home.
It's doable. So
but
yeah,
it's tough. It's definitely tough. And then they got the bye week. If they want to bring Joe in, after that, then that's cool, whatever. But also, I have them. It's two tough games. Even if Joe come back, if he don't come back, I think they lose those two games right there. And then after that, starting at Houston, I think they just go on a winning streak pretty much. I think they go on a winning streak all the way down to Minnesota, and then they lose to Pittsburgh and Kansas City, and then finish off with a win in Cleveland at the end of the year.
Okay. So I got them getting swept by Baltimore. And funny enough, I said it wrong earlier. I said 8-9. I got them finishing 9-8. But the icing on the cake, and this is partially just my bias, but they come into Kansas City week 17. I'm actually supposed to be at that game. So sneak, hint, hint, whatever you want to call it, another INISP vlog coming soon later in the year. I got another one that I'll touch on later that's earlier in the season too. That one's going to be live. But I think their playoff hopes are literally going to be on the line coming into Burrowhead. All the, beef around this rivalry now, especially after last year. And we got a chance to kick him out the playoffs in the regular season after we just eliminated them in the AFC Championship and send them home packing. And now you got to regroup for the next year. And like I said, I don't think they're going to re-sign T. Higgins this year. They're going to give Joe his contract. But then offseason is going to come. They're going to have to pick and choose between him and Jamar. It's going to be Jamar. Yeah. And then T is going to get a low-balled offer because it's just the nature of the cap. Now, if T takes it, more power to him. But I think it's going to be too good of a market for T. Higgins, who's truly a wide receiver one, for them to retain him. And that's just the way it goes in this game. But, yeah, 9-8. I got them taking an L to Pittsburgh as well, like you said. And I got them taking an L Monday night at Jacksonville. I think that's going to be a tough game. I think Jacksonville's offense is going to be pretty explosive this year. But, yeah, 9-8 for me. I got them tied, I guess, for third and fourth in the division with the Browns. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not a believer in the Browns either. It's really tough for the Browns because this is the year. Last year, Deshaun Watson contract ain't kick in. Now he got 230 M's fully guaranteed. So it's basically like you gotta win, or this This
You
is
better do
it's
something.
already kind of the worst trade in NFL history.
Oh, no, it definitely is for sure.
But if he can, produce some winning, then you kind of look at it a little bit different. But he gotta produce some winning. Last year, I'm gonna cut him some slack. He missed a whole year of football, came back in the middle of the season, or really towards the end of the season off the suspension. It's tough. I didn't expect him to be good. He wasn't good. He was god awful, to be quite frank with it. Now he's got a full off season. Mark Cooper, wide receiver 1, still got Nick Chubb. They just got Elijah Moore, who didn't have the best career, I guess, so far with the New York Jets, but New York Jets have been kind of a hellhole until recently last year. So hopefully maybe a fresh restart for him. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he came out to be a solid wide receiver 2 last year. So that's 3 wide receivers he could throw to. I believe they still got Njoku. And now that they got Deshaun, I think they're gonna have to dial it back. I can't think of their head coach name right now, but he likes
Kevin
to Stefanski. He likes to go up under the center, hand the ball off, play action. That's not necessarily Deshaun game playing under center. So it's probably some more shotgun formations to be added. But funny enough, I was looking it up just to see how would that possibly affect Nick Chubb, and he took 92 rush attempts last year out of the shotgun. He was number 1 in yards in those carries, and he was number 1 in expected runs over average in that category. So they probably gonna be fine if they do have to go a little bit more to the gun. They got a top 5 offensive line, so they got solid pieces there. I'm not a believer in Stefanski really, and I'm still just not sure about Deshaun, because even with the full offseason, it's still just a lot mentally with all that stuff that came out, and there's not a lot of people built to be the villain and be able to exceed or succeed in that role.
He got a lot of pressure on him, bro.
He do.
It's a lot of pressure on him, and for him, he never really had that type of pressure on him. Like, he has to perform good this year. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, he has to be good this year, and I think it'd just be too much pressure for Deshaun. And I'm with you. I'm not really a big fan of Stefanski at all either. I know he was coach of the year, a couple years ago, like 3 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, when Baker led them to the playoffs, and they got a dub. They just browned it up. They just completely shit the bed from there. Granted, Baker got hurt that next year, so that was kind of why they struggled. But then they threw him to the mud, trade for Deshaun Watson, who you can't even have play for a whole year. So that was basically a wasted year. And then they gave him $230 million guaranteed on top of that. So Cleveland they're in a rock and a hard place if they don't win this year, and I'm not expecting them to. And I got that game highlighted December 24th at Houston. I think that's gonna be an L for them. I think.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna get into my Texas, but I'm definitely gonna be a lot of Texas games this year. It's just it's a lot of excitement around them boys, man.
Oh, look, it's true. I haven't even looked at the Texans games like that, but I definitely cop a ticket to one of the games you go to just so we could do a vlog there. Yeah, man. We more vlogs, more picks, more. more.
Still be lit this year, man. Season 2.
I need it. In second place, though, in the AFC North, I got the Steelers. I'm actually really excited to see them, man.
Yeah, I am too.
Even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, still not a losing season in Mike Tomlin's career. I think that end of the season when they finally made the switch to Kenny Pickett, that's good experience that's going to help him this year. He had a couple clutch game-winning drives last year. Granted, they were against not the best of teams. One was the Raiders, and we know how the Raiders season went last year. But I think Kenny Pickett is going to have a good sophomore season. I think George Pickens, I'm not saying he's going to be like top 5, top 10 wide receiver necessarily, but I think he'll have a pretty good year with a full offseason with Kenny Pickett and them boys. Najee Harris, of course, in the backfield. On the defensive side, as long as TJ Watt stays healthy, he's probably top 2, top 3 defensive players in the NFL. No debate about it. Then you got Minkah Fitzpatrick on the back end. Still got Cam Hayward clogging up the middle. And a Mike Tomlin coach team. I expect them to have a winning season again. I don't know if it'll necessarily lead to the playoffs because the AFC is just so deep. So unless they get first place in the division, which I don't see it happening, they might not make it, but I think it's going to be a solid season for them. I think they're going to get Cincy at home, like you said. I'm pretty sure I got them. Let me look here. I got them sweeping. No, I don't have them sweeping Cleveland. So they're going to split all the division games, but I got them finishing 10-7 in second place in the
Yeah.
AFC.
I got them finishing 10-7 also. Still, it's gonna be a very tough football team to compete with or beat whatever. I think all the games gonna be pretty much close. From yeah, like I said, I think all the games gonna be pretty much close. I think 10-7. I think me personally, I think AFC the last wild card spot is going to be you're gonna have 10 wins no matter what. Like at least
Maybe
10.
even 11.
Yeah, maybe
Maybe 11.
maybe
Low
even
key.
11, which is insane
That
to
extra
say.
17th game now really finna come into
It
play.
really matters, bro. But like you said, man, this is a really good football team. From the offensive side to defensive side, they added Joey Porter Jr. Got him. Added Pat P. Man, that secondary is nasty. That defense is nasty. Period. But yeah, man, Pittsburgh gonna be a very tough team. Very, very tough team.
Very tough. I'm interested to see Joey Porter Jr. too, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously he's a rookie, so it's gonna be a learning curve. But I've seen a few clips the past couple days. I think they were doing one-on-one drills, and Gunner, number 89, he's like a punt returner for them. But in the one-on-one drills, he got him like 2 times in a row, made him miss the tackle. And some fans and Twitter trolls all on the comments like, oh, he's trash. Like it's gonna be a learning curve, but he's
Yeah,
gonna be a
rookie,
solid
man.
player for sure. And he's gonna be under the tutelage of Mike Tomlin, Mika Fitzpatrick, Patrick Peterson. Like those are some strong vets and a great coach to be under your rookie year. So I expect him to gradually get better as the year comes along. And honestly, maybe if he's getting the PT, he could possibly be in discussion for defensive rookie of the year if we're thinking the Steelers play how they play. So that's definitely something to watch out on if you maybe want to make a sprinkle on that. I'm not saying bet that. That's not a pick I have. But we're going to have our award predictions and all that on another episode before the season officially start. But just something, if you're thinking about it, I'm sure it's great odds. But something to think about. Now, last team, we agree here, Ravens first place. As long as they stay healthy.
Please,
Lord,
God, please let them stay healthy.
Knock
I
on
need
wood.
to, knock on wood.
They
I
finally
need to see
paid our
Lamar,
boy
man.
Lamar Jackson his
Man,
due
finally.
money.
Yes.
Finally got him some receiver help.
Man, what?
Lord, please let OBJ stay healthy. Please let Rashad Bateman stay healthy.
Man, let's say Flowers stay healthy, man.
Let them all stay healthy, man. I just want to see Lamar Jackson in a spread offense with some great wide receivers.
Yes.
Honestly, as a Chiefs fan, if we can't go back-to-back this year, this is the only team I want to see win the Super Bowl just so people can shut up about Lamar. Exactly. I think he's about to ball out. Possible second MVP season incoming. What you got him finishing at?
13-4.
Okay, so I got him with one more win. I got him at 14-3.
14-3? Okay.
But I think it's going to be a great year for Baltimore as long as they can stay healthy. Defense had that great trade last year. Roquan Smith fits like a glove on that defense. Yeah. It's an amazing fit. He played great. Now he's got a full offseason in the system. Still got Marlon Humphrey as a lockdown corner. Their second corner spot is going to be kind of up for grabs since they lost Marcus Peters. They got Marcus Williams at safety.
Marcus Williams,
I think the Ravens are finally going to remind people who they are. These last 2 years, they've been first place in the AFC North until Lamar gets injured. And then Cincinnati ends up making a run at the end and they take it. Now, granted, Cincinnati, of course, has had more playoff success than Baltimore, but with the team they put around Lamar this year, I think they can finally get over that hump and shut down some of that noise. I don't know if they'll make it all the way to Super Bowl, but I expect them to at least make it deep into the playoffs and get second place in the AFC. Second place with a 14-3 record, which is tough.
Which is tough, right?
It's tough.
We'll get into it. We'll get
into that. But that wraps up the AFC North. Just run back down the records one more time for y'all. First place, I got Ravens 14-3. Second, I got Steelers 10-7. And then a tie for third and fourth, I got the Browns and Bengals both at 9-8. That's how I'm thinking the AFC North plays out as of right now, August 9th, 2023. Obviously, it's still a month out till the season starts. Injuries, things can change. But as of right now, that's who I got, and I'm standing on it. I need it.
Yes, sir.
Cam, give a short rundown of who you got, and then we can move on to your division, the AFC South, man.
So I got the Ravens 13-4. Got the Bengals coming in second place, 12-5. Got the Steelers in third place, 10-7. I got the Browns 6 and Hey, I need that pick. I need that pick. I need that pick, man. So yeah. 6-11.
That is gonna be the fleece of the century. Y'all gonna end up with 2 top 10 lottery picks because the Browns wanted to make that trade. Oh, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
Man.
Like I said, man, we moving on to the AFC South. I'm gonna just start off with the bottom team because I really don't know what they got going on right now. Seems like all hell is breaking loose in that locker room, and they got a new rookie head coach who isn't necessarily proven. Had a great year last year as a coordinator for the Eagles, but he also had great talent. So it'll be interesting to see what he does this year. And Shane Steichen, new head coach. But as of last week, Jonathan Taylor holding out, wants a new contract. Jim Irsay saying we're not going to give him a new contract and we're not going to trade him. So he's just going to hold out. Then it comes out that he hurt his ankle in offseason training. So he's got to rehab that right now. And yesterday it came out he left the facility and he's rehabbing on his own elsewhere.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
I was looking for, I don't even know if Anthony Richardson is even going to technically play this year for real, because Gardner Minshew is a decent quarterback and they might want him to learn. But I was honestly looking forward to Shane Steichen trying to recreate that Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders RPO with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. That would be a deadly combo. And I mean, I know he's going to have his learning curve too, but Anthony Richardson can throw the ball too. Michael Pittman Jr. on the outside, like, Colts have some talent on that offensive side of the ball. I was looking forward to seeing it. As of right now, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how exactly they really go or where they really go now with the Jonathan Taylor situation, because he actually requested a trade too, but said they're not going to trade him. They're not going to pay him. Is he going to hold out? Who knows? But this is third year, so he's still young. So somebody would want Jonathan Taylor. It's whether Jim Irsay actually takes the call or not. But I got the Colts finishing 3-14 as of right now. They might be able to steal a game here or there, but I was going through their schedule, and it was just hard for me to find wins. I gave them wins because I didn't want to do like last year, as I infamously picked the Seahawks to lose every game, and they make it to the playoffs. But it's just hard for me to see wins for the Indianapolis Colts, especially if Jonathan Taylor not on the field. That's their best offensive player. If Shaq Leonard can be healthy, which we haven't seen in the last 2 years, he's the best player on their roster. But Jonathan Taylor, best offensive player, no doubt. So definitely want to see what they do for real regarding that before this season starts. But it's not looking too good right now. What you got on the Colts? I think by the sound of it, you might have them a little bit more in the W column. So what you got them at?
I got them a tad bit more. I know they got, a lot going on over there, but I still think they're like just a decent, little bit more decent football team all around. I would love to see hopefully AR play, because I would love to see AR play. I think he could be, probably either he could be the best quarterback out that draft. He very much, yes, he has the potential to be the best quarterback out of that draft for sure. But I hope he plays so I can, we need to see how he is or whatever. But I got the Colts finishing around like 6-11 or 7-10, around that. I mean, it's not really a hard division to get wins in. So I think they'll, sneak in a couple. I think they'll sneak in a couple. I think they'll sneak in one versus the Titans. I think let me see. Do I have them? I have them splitting with the Jags too. I don't know, man. I didn't know all that about JT though. I didn't know he was rehabbing on his own and stuff
Yeah,
like
it
that.
literally just came out this morning. I was watching. I think it was FS1 I was watching, and
Yeah.
they had a clip of basically the reporters interviewing Steichen after practice, and they're like, "Is Jonathan Taylor not here?" And he's like, "No, he's rehabbing. If he's not here, he's rehabbing somewhere else. So he's not with the Colts at all right now." And of course, he's unhappy about the whole contract situation. And when they did have clips of him out there at training camp last week, walking around in street clothes, he was walking with a pretty noticeable gimp. So I don't know what exactly he did to his ankle, but it's obviously not. I'm not saying it's severe, but it's obviously a bad injury to the point where he can't walk right now. Um, I'm looking at their schedule again. I got myself to get them to 5 wins. I got them getting a dub versus the Saints. I got them getting a dub the Panthers, the Bucks, the Falcons, and the Raiders. I really think it's because it's divisional games. They'll probably be able to steal 1 or 2 divisional games, maybe catch any given Sunday.
I think they'll still win against us just because we usually mess up versus them. Like we usually drop one versus them all the time. So I think they'll get I think I actually got them splitting everybody in our division. Pretty sure
That's
I
the thing
do.
too. Y'all's division, at least these last couple years, nobody's really ran away with the division. It's always splitting and coming down to the end, and it's just who gets that like 4th or 5th dub in the division. But I was sitting here debating on whether or not y'all could beat them in Indy that last game of the season. But I gave y'all the dub. I gave y'all the dub. So, but yeah, I got them 3-14 at worst, 5-12 at best for me. You said you got them finishing with 7 or 8 wins,
like 6 or 7 wins. Yeah,
but still in last place in the division.
No, got somebody else last in the division.
Oh man,
it's gonna make somebody mad.
I was about to say Ashton is about to make you mad.
I'm gonna piss him off for sure.
Oh man, Ashton, I mean, it might piss you off a little bit, but I don't got y'all down too bad. But I'm gonna let Cam go. I want to hear this. Go ahead, and just run through the rest of the division so we can see how this plays out, and then I'm gonna give mine. Cam, go ahead. I want to hear this.
Oh man, so man, I'm a hater. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm a hater. I don't like the Titans at all, man. They about to wear the Oilers uniforms versus us. I want to say in Houston too. It's so disrespectful.
That is disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful.
They could have done any other game, but versus Houston, come on now.
Man, it's crazy. But no, I got them finishing around like 5-12, 6-11. Man, their schedule is, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of tough or whatever. And then with Tannehill, I don't really trust Tannehill like that. And then the whole fiasco, whatever, with who's gonna be the backup, Malik Willis or Will Levis. They saying Levis haven't been really looking good in training camp like that. And yeah, I know they got Hopkins or whatever, but literally, whenever a good receiver, a Hall of Fame receiver, goes to the Titans, they they somehow always kill that receiver or whatever. But yeah, man. I got them finishing like 5-12, 6-11, or not. So I got them in last. Then I got the Colts. No, yeah, I got the Colts in third, and then that leaves my Texans and the Jags. Let's get into the Jag. I'm gonna get into the Jags real quick. Look at their schedule.
So you don't believe in Tennessee at all? Mike Vrabel, still a solid defense.
No, he definitely still is a solid defense, but
I think DeAndre Hopkins will help Treylon Burks a lot because Treylon Burks will no longer draw the best coverage. And I think Treylon Burks is due for a good sophomore season as well. And Tannehill can game manage enough, but you only five of them. Ooh, that's tough.
Man, them boys. But with the Jags, I got the Jags going 9-8 this year.
No way. Oh my god!
I told you. I told you. I
Oh
told
my
you,
god!
man.
Okay, so go ahead and lock it in. Texas first place in the AFC South. That's what you saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
they don't they the first team this year in the AFC.
For sure.
Okay,
For
okay.
sure. For sure.
I'm rocking with it. I'm
I already
rocking with it.
look. I already got that locked in. I think I had it locked in. I think it was like plus 600 or whatever. I locked that in back in like June or July when I had seen that, whatever. They disrespected us, but I'm gonna get to the Jags first, man. Jags first. I think Jags go die to 8. They a solid team, whatever, but it's still questions around Trevor. Even though he had a decent year last year with Dougie P, whatever. I know they're getting Calvin back and whatnot. I think they added like they didn't add Evan Ingram. They added somebody else. They added like maybe it was Evan Ingram. I don't know. They added like a tight end or whatever. They got a couple pieces on the defensive side, but I don't know. I think we can handle those guys, man. I really do think. Even last year, even when we went 3-13 or whatever, one of our wins was versus them. So I feel like we can. Handle the Jags pretty well. Now, if they do go off, it's probably gonna be because of Trevor or not. He probably could take that next leap that everyone probably will expecting him to take or whatever. But yeah, I got them going 9-8. I think they'll miss the playoffs because, like I said, that window, whatever that winning record, I think it has to be like either 10 or 11, like you said. But now let's go into my boys, man. Let's go into my boys.
Let me sit up for this one.
So yeah,
I think low key we might have the Texans at the same record. I just have them in a different place in the division. But I want to hear this. What you got y'all finishing with?
I got my boys finishing 10-7. I got my boys finishing 10-7, man. So from 3-13 to 1 to 10-7, this has to be like one of the biggest jumps like ever, ever, whatever. But hey, we seen it last year with the Jags. They jumped from like a
worst to first.
worst to first. They changed head coaches. They added more pieces. And we seen it with them. And I'm saying like, why not us? Why not us? Got D'Amico.
I am rooting for D'Amico, so I wouldn't be mad.
Definitely rooting for D'Amico, man. We made some big splashes this year in the draft, adding CJ Stroud and also adding Will Anderson. Both potentially could be rookie of the year candidates or whatever. I think with this offense, I think it'll be like pretty much kind of like a QB proof offense, kind of like the 49ers. I think it's gonna be a ground and pound team for sure on offensive side of the ball. With Dameon Pierce. I think they had Dameon Pierce touchdown prop like low for the season, huh? Like it was like
they did.
I think it was like real low, like 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say it was
like
4.5, 5.
Yeah. So if y'all listening right now, go hammer that. I don't know what they thinking about that. I don't know what they thinking about that because we have a rookie quarterback at the helm right now. We're definitely gonna be running the ball. Now I will say, obviously, the receiver core is we don't really have a receiver one necessarily. Pretty much hoping that Nico Collins breaks out. He goes for be receiver one or whatever. Getting John Mechie back. Hopefully, we can see him. I know he's gonna be a little bit rusty, but hopefully, we can see him do something. Added Take Dale, added Robert Woods and Noah Brown. But I feel like this year, man, we really hit everything with like the team needs pretty much. Like we covered the offensive line, added Shaq Mason, added 2 young centers with Drew Scruggs and got other dude name. But I know we got Drew Scruggs at center or whatever.
You're talking about I think I want to say his last name Hutchinson. You're talking about from Iowa State.
I think so.
Yeah. And
no. It's Jared Patterson. Jared Patterson.
Oh, okay.
We added him, whatever. Then on defensive side, man, I think we're gonna have probably a top 10 defense this year. Honestly, either top 10 or like top 12, top 15. I don't want to automatically say top 10 or whatever. That's kind of biased, whatever. But but I'm expecting Petrie to have a big year. I'm expecting Stingley to have a better year. I'm expecting Winter Anderson to be defensive player. I mean, not defensive player, defensive rookie of the year. I'm expecting at least like 9 sacks out of him, 8 sacks, maybe even double digits. Added Sheldon Rankins from the Jets for our nose tackle, whatever. Added depth in the linebackers and Denzel Perryman. I know he tore up his knee like last year or whatever, but before that, with the Raiders, he was leading the league in tackles and whatnot. So then we added Jimmy Ward also. So that secondary is looking nice. That secondary is looking
coming from
very
San
promising.
Francisco, knows D'Amico
Yes.
defense. I was gonna say him and Petrie together, and then Stingley.
It's gonna be nasty. It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
tough
nice little young secondary for sure.
for sure. But let me just run through the schedule. And then,
Okay, yeah. I got this one on paper.
So off rip in Baltimore, we're gonna lose to Baltimore.
Yeah, I got that.
But I think it's gonna be closer than what people really think it's gonna be. I think a lot of our games gonna be closer than what people really think it's gonna be. But I think we're gonna lose to the Ravens. Then I think we'll come back home. We're gonna beat the Colts. Then we're gonna beat the Jags. I feel like we're gonna beat Pittsburgh. Then we're gonna beat the Falcons, and then we're gonna lose to the Saints. Then we go to that bye week. Got the Panthers. Then we're gonna lose to the Panthers in Carolina. I
You
think
got CJ losing to Bryce.
I got CJ losing to Bryce. I think Panthers gonna be decent this year. I got us beating the Buccaneers. We're gonna get to the Buccaneers, but I don't know if we're gonna be on the same page with the Buccaneers, but I don't know. We'll see. I got us losing to the Bengals. I got us beating I got us beating the Cardinals. Now I got us splitting with the Jags. I got us beating Denver. Got us losing to the Jets. Then I got us winning 3 straight with the Titans, Browns, and Titans, and I think I got us losing to the Colts at the end. That's how I came with 10-7, man.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Division.
I'm really not mad at it because I actually have y'all at 11-6.
Oh
yeah, but I also have the Titans at 11. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So this is throwing it back to when we we're talking about the AFC North. This is why I think it's gonna be so crucial that Cincinnati wins games, because even though they might be able to get on a little win streak if Joe is injured and then comes back, because they'll be losing divisional games, they're gonna be dropped in their division. And then if they don't get to that 11 win mark or 10 win mark, maybe they might be out of the playoffs because the AFC I think is that deep. And y'all schedule so I got y'all opening with the L to Baltimore 2, Indy L. I got Jacksonville L, but I have y'all splitting home and home with them. I think y'all take an L versus Pittsburgh. Then I got y'all on a 4-game win streak. L at Cincinnati, 3-game win streak. 2 losses because 2 tough games at New York, then at Tennessee, division opponent. And I got y'all finishing on a 3-win streak. I think y'all find a way to get it done in Indianapolis. And who knows? Maybe y'all get the tiebreaker versus Tennessee, and maybe y'all sneak in as a wild card, just like Jacksonville did last year. And then once you in, anything can happen. And that'll be a great experience for all that young talent. But yeah, I got y'all at 11-6. I got Tennessee at 11-6. Where I have to differ with you though is, and I've been calling it since last year. Yeah. I think Jacksonville gonna be nice, especially with Calvin Ridley now, who's really gonna be wide receiver 1, and Christian Kirk can go back to his more prominent wide receiver 2 role. Still got ETN, Trevor Lawrence year 2 under Dougie P, like you said. Obviously, we need to see more from Trevor Lawrence, but last year, I think it was like the last 9 or 10 games of the season, he had the number 1 QBR in the league. They were winning games, led them to the playoffs, obviously, till they lost to my Chiefs. So it's not like there's any shame in that. Yeah, I think they go 13-4, and I think they win the division. And that's the win total. You got to come with it to make the playoffs in the AFC this year. I just think they're gonna be really nice. I think they handle the rest of the division, but I think they split with y'all. I think they split with Tennessee, probably. But I don't know. I got faith in them. The only question mark I have with them is, did they do enough on the defensive side of the ball to be that good? I can see their defense dropping some games, but I expect that offense to be a force to be reckoned with this year with Doug Peterson's second year, and then you add in Calvin Ridley. As long as they're healthy, I think that's just a lot of firepower on the offensive side of the ball, and they don't have too terribly strong of a schedule either. They're gonna open at Indy. I think that's gonna be a dub. It could mess around and be a tough game just because it's first game of the season and this divisional opponent, but I think they'll get out of there with a win. I think they'll play my Chiefs tough just based on the fact we beat them twice last year, but I still got my Chiefs getting that dub. Think they win at home versus y'all. I think after they take an L versus us, I got them going on a 6-game win streak until they play San Francisco, and I think they take an L there. Got them taking another L versus y'all in Houston. I got them beating Cincinnati, like I said, Monday night, and going on a win streak for the rest of the season until the last game at Tennessee. Because I think Tennessee going to be fighting for a wild card spot, and I think they're going to bring it, and they'll win that game. 13-4. That's how I got it. So 13-4 for them, 11-6 for both you and the Titans. And like I said, 5-12, 3-14. I don't know, somewhere 3-5 range for the Colts, in my opinion. But yeah, hopefully you're not too mad, Ashton. I know you're gonna listen to this. I don't got y'all with 5 wins. I got y'all in contention for the playoffs wild card. I think Tannehill is gonna be. He's a game manager. As long as he stays healthy, I think he can manage enough. And you got DeAndre Hopkins now, who I think still has something to prove. The only problem is this Tennessee team, I don't think will ever get over that hump of maybe even making it back to the AFC title game. And then after this year of another year of losing in the playoffs, it's gonna be like, okay, well, we've reached the peak of what we can reach with Tannehill. Kind of like when we came to the point where Alex Smith was like, okay, we got to throw Mahomes in there because we've gone as far as we can go with Alex Smith. So I feel like it's just gonna come to that point for Tennessee. But I got them with 11 wins still. Mike Vrabel team with 5 wins. If Tannehill can stay healthy, that's hard for me to see. So, but I respect the hate and the bias as a Texas fan. I respect it. That's the AFC South. Running back down for y'all. I got Jacksonville in first, 13-4. Texas and Titans in the tie for second and third at 11-6. Colts, I'm gonna go with the happy medium in the middle. I'm gonna say they go 4-13. And that's how I got the AFC South playing out this year.
Okay. I got Texans 10-7 first. The Jags 9-8. Got the Colts 7-10. I got the Titans 5-12 or 6-11. 1-2.
That's fair. Next up, got the AFC East. Now, I said I think the AFC North is the most competitive division with Cincy, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. And then Cleveland that has talent, but we're still not sure about them with Deshaun and everything. AFC East, hands down, the most interesting division this year, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds, especially with all 3 of their fan bases. Because even though one of them has to come out on top, I don't see any of these teams making the Super Bowl. One of them might make the AFC title game, but I don't see any of them actually winning it all. But, of course, unless you've been living under a rock, Aaron Rodgers is now a New York Jet. He decided to bring what feels like damn near half the Packers squad with him over to New York. I don't know how that's going to necessarily go. He brings in Alan Lazard. He brings in Randall Cobb. McCole Hardman, our old wide receiver, signed over there. Got Breece Hall coming back off of ACL. They're in talks. Nothing's been done yet, but Dalvin Cook went to their training camp earlier this week. It's looking like he's very likely to sign there. I don't know what that type of deal will be, but Aaron Rodgers restructured his contract so they could get players like Dalvin Cook. So Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall tandem is kind of tough, and it's on doing. Signed Quinnen Williams to a big deal finally this offseason. Of course, got arguably the number 1 corner in the game, reigning defensive rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner. And then got the who they're saying could be the next up and coming receiver, Now, I don't know. It's kind of a lot of pressure to say he could be Devontae. Aaron Rodgers wasn't trying to say he could be Devontae, but he might be. I'm blanking on his
Oh,
name. What is
Garrett
what
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson,
Garrett
number
Wilson
17
called.
out of Ohio State,
I ain't gonna lie.
reigning offensive rookie of the year. That's very rare to have both defensive and
Both.
offensive rookie of the year. I think they're gonna have great sophomore seasons. His game can only go up with Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. I just want to be pump the brakes on calling him Devontae Adams, who's a one-of-one receiver. But Jets, Dolphins, who bringing back all the speed in the world, the fastest team in the NFL, and then you got Buffalo with America's favorite, America's darling, Josh Allen. Got some interesting things to say about him. And then Patriots. I called it last year, man. I called it
You
last
did call
year.
it last year. You did. I know what you're
I
gonna say.
think after this year
Yeah,
and
you're right.
another losing season, I don't. They're not gonna fire Bill Belichick, but both sides are gonna agree to part ways.
And man, when you was saying that last year, I was like, why does Bryce keep saying that? Like, it's crazy to say like Bill
Bill
Belichick.
Belichick. It sounds crazy,
Yeah,
but
it
like
sounds crazy, but it
it,
has to happen. It
it
gotta
has
happen.
to. His track record without Brady is terrible.
It's horrible.
He can't draft. He can't pick up the right players on offense. Last year he had a defensive coordinator as an offensive coordinator in Matt Patricia. This year I got him finishing 8-9 in the losing season. It's already come out with rumors that Robert Kraft, if they don't win, Bill is on the hot seat. So yeah, like I said, man, out of respect for arguably the greatest coach ever, they're just gonna agree to part ways out this year. But Mac Jones, Juju Smith-Schuster, your number one wide receiver. I don't know about all that. Maybe you can make it work. We've got a guy like Patrick Mahomes, but Mac Jones, I don't see that working out. Of course, their defense is gonna be pretty decent as always because Bill Belichick is a defense guru. But that offense, man, it's been pretty bad for the last. Even Tom Brady last year, offense was terrible, and they've not gotten any pieces that could possibly put them over the hump. I thought they were gonna get DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know why they didn't offer him more money than the Titans because they definitely need a wide receiver one. But hey, Bill Belichick, I guess, didn't want to pull the plug on that. And here we are. Got Juju Smith Schuster. You got Devontae Parker. Like they got what's his name? They got Mike Gesicki in free agency. But I mean, he's an older tight end and he's not. I would say he's probably not even top 5 tight ends in the NFL, at least based off last year. So what would an average quarterback like McCorkle, as people be calling him, what are you gonna realistically do in this loaded AFC East division? I don't see them going anywhere. And like I said, I got them finishing 8-9 and Bill Belichick out the door. And I don't know where you go from there. Like, because whoever coming into that, you're following up the greatest dynasty in football history over the last 20 years. So it's obviously going to be a lot of pressure. But at the same time, they haven't won in 5 years, really. So it's going to be a full rebuild out in New England. And they might be bad for a long time.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones might even be out of a job after this season if he don't play too well. But how do you think New England finishes out?
Like I was saying, you got them better than me. I got them going 6-11, maybe even worse. I just don't see, like you said, the offensive power is just not there for them. Not a big Mac Jones fan. I know they still got Ramondre Stevenson. But I mean, he can only do so much. No, he's a good back or whatever. But this receiving core is disgusting. Juju, Devontae Parker, Kendrick Bourne. Maybe Keyshawn Butte do something. I heard he's been having a good camp or whatever. Maybe he does something. Maybe he busts out and breaks out or whatever. Maybe that'd be something to watch. But like you said, the defense always gonna be good. They added Christian Gonzalez, fast corner, whatever, lockdown corner. But I mean, other than that, I got them going 6-11. I can't really see them doing too much. Definitely not with like Mac Jones, but yeah, like you were saying last year though, and I was saying I was like, why Bryce keeps saying this? Why he keeps saying Bill finna get fired or something like that? But I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
like you said, he's not gonna get fired, but they're gonna part ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. And man, that's gonna be crazy. I mean, me personally, obviously I got biased, but I really think after what we just did last year, and if Bill really has another felony season this year, and if we win the Super Bowl, it makes the argument kind of complete in my eyes. But obviously, like I said, I'm biased. But I really think there is a great argument now to be made that Andy Reid is a better coach than Bill Belichick. Granted, we know Bill Belichick has the 6 rings, but that's with Tom Brady. Without Tom Brady in his career, he has a losing record, and he's played over, I think he's like 79 and 88. It's been awful without Brady. So you've seen Reid do it with every quarterback. He didn't win the Super Bowl, but he made it to one. He made it to 5 NFC Championship games. You get Patrick Mahomes. Now he's been to 3 Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes, and he's won 2 of them. So it's levels to it, man. And what we thought was the greatest coach ever is coming out to kind of a flaming end. It's kind of sad to see. But I got the Patriots 8-9. Now, like I said, this is an interesting division. It's loaded with talent. We don't know what's gonna happen. Who you got finishing the third?
I got the Dolphins finishing the third.
What
not,
record?
9-8.
Okay.
I don't think they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. They're very fast, whatever. Great head coach. But I don't think they're as good as like people really making it out to, for them to be. I know they still got Tyreek, still got Jalen Waddle and stuff like that. But I don't know. Like I just feel like I like Tua, but also like, sometimes he can, not always, do the right
Stay
thing.
healthy.
Stay healthy.
That's a big question mark.
Thing.
Hopefully, like he stays healthy. Obviously, not
Yeah.
wishing injury, but that's been a big thing. They can never finish a season either. These last 3 years, they always fall off at the end. Granted, last year Tua goes out with the concussion stuff, but I said last year I was like, when I was going through their schedule, I was like, they'll start off good, and then I think it was like they played San Francisco, LA, Green Bay, like back to back to back, and I was like, they're gonna lose all 3 of those games and flame out. And sure enough, they did, and that was with Tua. Yeah. Then Tua goes out, and it just made it that much worse. They were still able to scrape into the playoffs, and with Skylar Thompson as a third string, able to give the Bills a run for their money, but they got to learn how to finish. Maybe with, second year of experience, Mike, coach, what's his name? Mike, I'd be blanking on names, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Maybe he can be better, but Mike McDaniel, that's what his name is. I knew it started with an M, but maybe he'll be better, learn from that experience. But like they gotta finish strong because they cannot afford in this division to not finish strong. But like I said, it's gonna be interesting. Third place for me.
I know you got.
Oh, you know I got America's Angel, Josh Allen, man, and the Bills. Now, there's a couple reasons why I got this. I don't know what's going on in Buffalo's locker room, but I know this. It's not right with Stephon Diggs, no matter how much they try to sugarcoat it. This will be Sean McDermott's last year as Buffalo's head coach. Remember last year, I can't remember what episode it was exactly, but I told you that stat where if a quarterback and head coach combo don't win a Super Bowl within their first 5 years, they never will win it. And then eventually one leaves or the other. Obviously, Josh Allen ain't going nowhere.
They ain't going nowhere, man.
Last year was their 5th year together. It's not happening. They didn't do anything to address their real issues this year. They got rid of their defensive coordinator now. You see how bad the offensive coordinator in what's his name affected Josh Allen. Now you lose Leslie Frazier on the defensive end. They don't have a bona fide number 2 receiver still. Stephon Diggs is unhappy. He doesn't show up that first day of training camp. Sean McDermott hits the press conference like, well, yeah, it is concerning that he wasn't here. Then next day comes out, well, no, I knew where he was. I told him to go home. It's not a big deal. Like, no, it's too late. You're right. The cat's out of the bag. Josh Allen, I feel bad for him because he's trying to, give the best politically correct answer. Like, no, I love Stephon Diggs. That's my boy. Like, There's nothing wrong. Like, we just got some things we need to figure out without last season in it, and we'll get those things figured out. It's about to come crashing down in Buffalo. And not that I would love to see it, but as a Chiefs fan, having to listen to these fools, especially after that 2021 divisional game, I love to see it. Because they talked so much stuff. Last year, like we said, everybody and their mama had them as a Super Bowl winners, undisputed from day one. They didn't do it. Obviously, Von Miller got hurt. That's a big injury. Terrier Achilles he's like 34 years old after giving him a 6-year, $120 million deal at that age. I don't know how he's gonna come back. It's Von Miller, so I wouldn't expect him to be, bad, but at the same time, he could be bad because that's a pretty serious injury to come back from at that age. I got the Bills finishing at 10-7 and missing out on the playoffs. Like I said, Sean McDermott gone. That happens. Stephon Diggs probably go one up out of there. Josh Allen, we will then have to have a serious conversation about if Josh Allen is truly a top 3 quarterback in the league. Because throughout his 5 years of playing now, he's never been top 5 in quarterback rating. The best year he had was 2020, and he finished 8th. Yeah. Every other year, like I said, it's a roller coaster with him. He's really good, and then he's really bad. Maybe he'll fix his interception problem that he had last year, but it's up for grabs. Like I said, they didn't make the moves I think they needed to make in the offseason, and they've literally only gotten worse since that 2020 season when they made it to the AFC title game. We knocked them out in the AFC title game that year. They, all that offseason bolster up, like, we're building this team to beat the Chiefs. Then they choke with 13 seconds in the 2021 divisional. Then last year, they get a home game versus Cincinnati in the elements, the snow, what's supposed to help them as the home team in Buffalo. And they get absolutely throttled. Stephon Diggs, the last moment we see is him cussing out Josh Allen on the sideline. And those problems obviously lingered into the start of training camp this year. I think it's about to be a down year for the Bills and Bills Mafia. Protect the tables because they about to be throwing themselves on a lot of tables this year in frustration out there in Buffalo. That's who I got finishing 3rd. What about second place? I'm assuming
second.
I don't know. Who you got second?
Second, I got the Bills.
Okay.
I got the Bills second. I got them going 12-5. I get all those things, but I think it's just hard. Like, when you have like a top 3 or top 5 or top 10 quarterback, or really you like top 5, he's top 5 quarterback in the league. It's just hard to believe that they can be like right on the edge of like the playoffs or not making it. But I just think that defense is just so good that even they do have problems on the offensive side, I think the defense will elevate them to win a couple of games that they're not supposed to win, or whatever. And also, like, the Bills are like for some reason they are a really good regular season team. After regular season, it's like it's like it goes downhill in the playoffs for every reason. But yeah, I got them going second in this division. For some reason, I got them going like on a crazy win streak beginning of the year. Like, I got them going like I got them winning like 1, 2, 3, 4. 6, 7, 8. I got them winning like 10 in a row. To start off the year, and then I got them going like on a little losing streak. After they played Washington, I got them losing to Miami. I got them losing to Jacksonville. I believe I got them losing to the Giants also. Then got them losing to New England. And then I got them losing to Philly. Then I got them losing to Kansas City. Then I got them losing to Dallas. Yeah, and then I got them winning the Chargers and winning New England, and I got them losing to Miami. But I got them going.
You got them opening the season with the L to the Jets?
I got them winning. I got them beating the Jets. And the reason for that, I feel like it's gonna be like so much for
So much
A-Rod.
hype.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
much hype around A-Rod and the Jets and stuff like that. We're gonna get to the Jets next whatever. But yeah, I think it's gonna be just too much for them to handle whatever. And I think the Bills just gonna come out and just smash them in the mouth, whatever. But yeah, I got them going 12-5 and finishing second. I think they'll get into the playoffs, but like I said, like we've been saying, 10 and 11, like you go minimum 10 wins to
Yeah,
get
it's 10 is gonna be the minimum to get into
minimum.
the playoffs in the AFC, and it might be 11
It
for
might be
real this year.
11, which is crazy to say. Like it's just crazy, but I got 12-5, but I can also see them 10-7. I can also see them not making the playoffs. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So I got them opening the season with the L. I know it's gonna be a lot of hype for New York, but like I said, there's obviously tension there with Stephon Diggs. So you
Yeah.
already know Robert Saleh probably gonna have Sauce Gardner shadowing Stephon Diggs
Oh yeah, for the whole game.
the whole game.
He'll be pissed
So
off.
he gonna be pissed off because he might get some targets, but he's not gonna get that many catches on Sauce. Then when he's frustrated, Josh Allen gonna try to run and save the day, which they've been saying they want him to kind of take a notch back on the running, but that's a part of his game. But at the same time, you don't want him to turn into Cam Newton where he destroys his body. But
Exactly.
I had them taking that L. Then I had them going on a 3-game win streak and taking the L to Jacksonville. Then they go back to winning.
Definitely.
Got them losing at Cincinnati again. Then beat Denver, beat the Jets at home, losing to Philly, lose to us, win versus Dallas, lose at LA Chargers, win New England, and lose at Miami. Final game of the year. And honestly, I think that's going to be one of the games to get a wild card spot, or
Yeah,
maybe
I
the
think so
final
too.
wild card spot between them. I got Miami winning that and finishing 11-6, and Bills finished 10-7. I think Miami makes it into the playoffs over them, and then man, all hell is gonna break loose in Buffalo if that happens.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They'll probably blow it up. Not blow it up,
But
but
you gotta
they'll
you
get
gotta do
rid of.
something. McDermott, like I said,
Yeah,
McDermott
they're probably
gonna be
going.
gone. They're probably gonna be looking for an offensive coach for real
Yeah,
for Josh Allen. And
Diggs might be gone too.
oh yeah, if they lose this year, Diggs is gone for sure.
Yeah.
I really think, even though they've been able to hold this information, I really think Diggs doesn't even want to be there now. Technically, like he might like, I'm sure Josh Allen is really his boy, like off the field, and they got a good repertoire on the field. But if they're not, Stephon Diggs, if he not producing and getting wins, we've seen it in Minnesota. Now we've seen it in Buffalo. He gonna want to leave and force his way out. And I think honestly, in his heart of hearts, he wants to go to Dallas to play with his brother.
His brother, yeah.
Now,
Probably
would
do.
Jerry do that and pay him? That's another question. But I know Stephon has talked about that before. But yeah,
That'd be something to see.
it would. That
Him in
would be
Dallas.
funny. I can't wait to talk NFC next year.
Oh man, I can't wait too.
Cowboys fans, we back. Oh man. But yeah. So it's not assuming. We both have the Jets in first place. I got them finishing at 11-6 too, though. They just have the tiebreaker. But yeah, I think the Jets actually get off to a great start during the season. I think they will start it off 3-0. Yeah, they'll open with Buffalo. That's gonna be a dub, I think. Then they'll go on to Dallas. Aaron Rodgers don't lose versus Dallas.
We know that. We know that. Yeah, that's
got
easy.
Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Defense might put up a fight on the New England side, but New York just gonna shut down Mac Jones. And then what I was sending to at earlier, y'all, your boys headed to New York for Sunday Night Football.
Sir.
God, please let Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes be healthy so we can finally get this matchup. Because we played the Packers twice since we got Mahomes, and either Rodgers was out or Mahomes was out both times. But your boys flying to New York, go see the game in prime time, and we gonna hand them that first L. Just furthering Mahomes' GOAT resume. Top Aaron Rodgers in his own stadium, his new stadium, New York. But after that, I think they're gonna beat Denver and Russ. Russ still not cooking over there with Sean Payton. That's gonna be a funny game too. After everything that came out with Sean Payton talking about the offensive coordinator and old Broncos head coach. But I think they'll win that game, and then got an L versus the Eagles. Then I got them win versus the Giants in the Battle of New York, losing versus the Chargers, win versus. I really got them splitting that during the whole middle of the season, and then they'll end the season with 2 dubs versus Cleveland and New England. But yeah, I think New York with Aaron Rodgers, a loaded defense, I think Aaron Rodgers will be good enough, even though I think he has taken a step back because of his age. I think he'll be good enough to lead that team to first place in the division because he can be a good regular season quarterback. And when we get to the playoffs, that's a whole nother story. But we'll get into that on our playoff predictions episode, which will be coming in the next few weeks. But yeah, I got the Jets finishing first at 11-6. What's your record for them since you got them in first as well?
I got them going 13-4. I think with the Jets, I think this is like this. I think this is the same thing we seen with Tom Brady when we went to the Bucks. I think this is literally like the exact same thing. They got a great offense, just like the Bucks had. A great defense, just like the Bucks had. They were just missing a quarterback, and I think Aaron Rodgers is that missing piece or whatever. I know I was kind of down on him last year, talking bad on him like that or whatever, but some was on his fault. It's like some was like his fault, with the throwing and offense and stuff like that. But I think some blame has to go on LaFleur, and I also think the blame has to go on young receiving core over there. Even though it's still young receiving core with the
That's
Jets.
my only worry with them. Like, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is as bad as people are making him out to be.
Yeah,
but I
I
think
think he still got the arm.
He still got the arm. But I think he's maybe taking a step down from the MVP. He went back to back MVPs, and then also now that he's with a whole young wide receiver core, is he gonna trust him? If someone drops it, is it gonna be like, oh well, now I'm not throwing you the ball? He seems to be good. Like I said, I need to watch the first episode of Hard Knocks. The Jets are on Hard Knocks this year. He seems to have great relationships with all the young players right now, which is really funny because in Green Bay they were begging him to do that.
Yeah,
Granted, they never drafted wide receivers for him, so I get it. But he never did this in Green Bay. But if the young talent isn't producing around him, or they drop a pass, then is he just trying to force feed it to Lazard because that's who he trusts? And Randall Cobb, even though I really think Randall Cobb shouldn't be seeing the field with the talent they have, and Randall Cobb being one of the oldest or the oldest wide receiver in that group. But yeah, I think Rodgers definitely can lead this team to first place in that division, especially with that defense. That defense is going to be nice.
Yeah, for sure gonna be nice. The way I see this going out, I think the first 6 weeks is gonna be a little bit of they're gonna hit some roadblocks. I think they'll lose to Buffalo. I think they'll come back and win Dallas and New England. I think they'll lose to Kansas City, but I think they'll beat Denver, and then I think they'll lose to Philly, and then I think they'll be 3-3. Then after that, they'll have that bye week, and I think they're just going on a winning streak from week 8 all the way down to week 14 until they play Miami in week 15. I think they'll lose to Miami in week 15.
I got that too.
I think they'll finish out with three dubs with Washington, Cleveland, and New England.
See, I got them taking a random L versus Washington.
To Washington?
Yeah, I'm kind of big on Washington this year. We're not touching on the NFC, but I like some of the things Washington is doing. It kind of scares me with what came out yesterday with the players complaining about EB being too hard on them. Like, man up. Like, you're trying to turn you on to some winners, but that's a combo for another day. But yeah, I got them finishing out 2 dubs, but it's going to be 2 L's followed by 2 dubs to close out the last 4 games of the season as I got it. But yeah, first place still for sure. And they'll lock up a wild card spot with that record because, like I said, Ravens going to finish with 14 wins, I think. I think Jacksonville gets 13. And then we're going to step into the AFC West. So y'all can, tap into what we got there with the reigning Super Bowl champs.
It's time, man.
Another
It's time.
America's darling and Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Can they finally do what everybody says they will do every year? Win a playoff game. Russ, let's ride part 2 with Sean Payton now manning the engine and taking over the ride from the looks of it. And then Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know what they got going on, but I know that boy Devontae Adams in hell right now with the way that organization is being run. But yeah, man, let's get into the AFC West. Last but not least in our AFC preview, last place, your team that you had in first place last year. First, I know if y'all watched us last year, you remember Cam saying, "First hot take of the year, y'all. I got the Raiders finishing in first place." Derek Carr go prove everybody wrong. That did not happen
at all.
They now moved on from Derek Carr. Like I said, they were gonna need to. It's just a very toxic relationship. They both weren't good for each other. But as a replacement, they got Jimmy G. Jimmy G is great when he's got a great team around him. The Raiders are not a great team, so
not a great team at all.
I don't think Jimmy G is gonna be able to really do anything for them in that regard. I got the Raiders finishing 5-12, and man, I really don't know where the Raiders go after that. I'm hoping they're not so bad that they end up with the first pick and draft Caleb Williams. I don't want Caleb Williams in the division. It's a high possibility that could very much happen this year. So, because like I got the Colts finishing pretty bad too, but they got Anthony Richardson. They're not going to draft Caleb Williams. Raiders mess around and end up, with the first pick. They're definitely taking Caleb Williams, and then Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert battling with Patrick Mahomes for the future. That's gonna be tough.
Tough, yeah.
But yeah, I got the Raiders finishing 5-12. I would assume you have them last this year, and you learned from your mistakes.
Definitely learned from my mistakes. But I don't have them 5-12. I have them in a whopping 2-15. A whopping 2-15.
Golly.
I actually think Devontae Adams will get traded at some point during the regular season.
I was gonna mention that. Aaron Rodgers came and said, I took, my deal or cut my deal down so we could get potential big name players before the trade deadline if some come available.
Imagine that's happening.
If he gets Devontae Adams over to the New York Jets, it's either gonna be Aaron Rodgers can ride off into because I think if Aaron Rodgers is to win a Super Bowl this year, he retires.
Yeah, he probably retire. It's
either going to be that or his legacy will be forever tarnished if they do not win with Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Breece Hall, possibly Dalvin Cook, Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams on defense, Robert Salas. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
You get your favorite OC back. It's going to be tough if they don't win, especially if that happens. But yeah. 2-15, Devontae Adams, he got to get out of there.
Walking 2-15, he's definitely going to ask for a trade, or they definitely just going to trade him. I can see it.
That's fair. Yeah, so not too much to talk about the Raiders, but the 5 wins I do have them getting. I got them starting off the season with 4 straight L's. Got them winning versus Green Bay, but that could very much be an L because I think Jordan Love actually is going to be pretty nice. I got them beating Chicago. I got them randomly stealing the game versus the New York Giants. Back to a losing streak. Then I think Kirk Cousins going to have a need to forget about this game. Shit down his leg. Lose to Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders out of nowhere. And then they end the season with a dub versus the Broncos in the toilet bowl battle to end the season. And I think the Broncos also finished 5-12 this year.
Oh shit!
Let's ride, Sean Payton. It don't matter. The Broncos are cursed. I think they're by the end of this year, it's really going to be neck and neck between them and the Browns for who has the worst contract in NFL history when it comes to quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson with $230 million guaranteed, or the Denver Broncos who traded for Russ after the Seattle told everybody he was washed, and then guaranteed him $186 million 5-year contract before even seeing him play a down of football. It's gonna be tough, but I got them finishing 5-12 as well. I'm assuming you also have the Broncos in third place, and
I got them. I really got them the same record as the Chargers.
okay. So you think Sean Payton can really help turn some things
I
around for them?
I definitely do think he can. Okay, I got the Broncos going 10-7, just like the Chargers. I got them both going 10-7. Um, I think Sean can definitely turn Russ around. I think with Russ last year, I just don't think that offense that they had him in. I just don't think it wasn't for Russ. Russ likes to, we talked about this, last year, whatever. But Russ likes to improvise a lot. He doesn't really like. I mean, in that offense that they had him in, he had to get the ball out like quick, like make quick reads and stuff like that. And that's really not what Russ really do, or whatnot. But I think with Sean Payton, I think Sean Payton is the offensive guru. I think Sean Payton is gonna help Russ a lot. Um, I think Russ gonna be back. I think Russ will be back to his not like his old self, because I do think he kind of declined just a little. But I think we'll see a better version of Russell Wilson this year. But yeah, I got him 10-7, tied with the Chargers.
Okay, I respect it. Well, I think Sean Payton can help turn some things around, fix a little bit.
Yeah.
I do want people to pump the brakes on Sean Payton. People are acting like Sean Payton is just like bona fide Hall of Fame coach. Man has one Super Bowl, and that was really a Cinderella story because
That was a Cinderella story.
Hurricane Katrina hits, New Orleans Saints rally, win the Super Bowl versus Peyton Manning, and then they never went back. And they have some of the worst playoff chokes. I'm sorry if any Saints fans are listening, but it's just the truth. Y'all have some of the worst playoff chokes in the past 2 decades with Drew Brees, a Hall of Fame QB. Russell Wilson, he's not better than Drew Brees when it comes to throwing the ball. Of course, he's more mobile, but it's kind of the same quarterback. Just Russ being a little bit more mobile. Short, 5'11", they say 6 foot. I don't know what Sean Payton is really going to do for Denver in terms of making them a contender. Because even with the Saints, there were a couple down years where they missed the playoffs throughout that, and then the playoff chokes. Like Sean Payton is not an upper echelon coach. Like he's not a great coach. I don't think he's a very good coach, but he's not great. Like he's not Andy Reid, Bill Belichick type, coach. But he's very good. But with the Denver Broncos roster, I don't think it's doing too much. And then unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for Tim Patrick, I think he just tore his Achilles last week, coming off of a torn ACL last year. I don't want to say it, but like his football career might be over because those are 2 pretty significant injuries to come back from, and try to get your explosiveness back and stay healthy after those. That's going to be tough. Judy, they've been hoping and praying he can turn things around and be the wide receiver they thought he would be when he got drafted. Maybe Sean Payton can help with that. They will get Javonte Williams back, who I think is a really good running back. But I just don't think Denver is a good team, and Sean it's gonna look really bad just because Sean Payton had to come out and make those comments about the situation last year for him to only go and do the same thing, and then he really looks like a clown because he retired, stopped coaching the Saints, and then he comes back thinking like, oh, like I'm gonna turn things around, and then it doesn't happen. Now people are looking at Sean Payton in a very different light, especially when you look at his true history in New Orleans as well, combined with that. But yeah, I got him finishing third, 5-12. You said 10-7, tied with the Chargers. So how you got the Chargers getting to 10-7? I'm interested to hear this one.
Let's see. All right.
I think the Chargers.
What you got them at?
Well, I said that. I got them at 10-7 too. I just got them getting off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, I got them. I got them on a 5-game win streak. So I got them beating the Dolphins. I got them beating the Titans. I got them beating the Vikings. Got them beating the Raiders, and got that bye. And I think they beat the Cowboys. Then they take that loss to Chiefs. Got them beating the Bears. I got them losing 2 straight to the Jets and Lions. The Lions gonna be a good football team this year. The Lions gonna be very good this year.
That first week, sorry to Detroit, we finna hang 40 on them.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
That one, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all want my first pick for the first game of the year? Giving it out way early. I locked this in as soon as the lines actually came out for the game. Take the over 54. You know we're gonna hang 40 in the first game of the season, and our defense probably gonna give up 20 to 30 with Detroit's offense. It's gonna be a shootout.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
it's gonna be a shootout. It might low key look like Monday night a couple or 5 years ago when Patrick and Jared Goff faced off when he was with the Rams, and it was 54-51. I don't think it'll be that close, but I think it'll be like a 42-31 type game, possibly. First game of the season. So, yeah, lock in the over, y'all. If y'all listening right now, go do it because it's only going to go up the closer the game gets here. But, yeah, over 54. I need it. Come on, man. Come on.
Nah, man. But Chargers, man. I got them beating the Packers. I got them losing to the Ravens. I got them winning 3 straight. Then I got them losing 3 straight at the end.
Okay. So I got them opening up the season 4 straight wins. I think they're gonna take an L versus Dallas, which would just be funny since Kellen Moore is now the offensive coordinator over there for Justin Herbert. So it's gonna be hilarious to see all the hot takes that come out after that game. But then, which I'll get to my Chiefs. After this, I have them getting the dub in Kansas City. They did it 2 years ago. Probably should have beat us last year in Kansas City if Justin Herbert doesn't throw that pick 6 and then break his rib cage. Then I got them. Chargers are gonna Charger at the end of the day. I gotta see it to believe it for them. So even though I think they're a good team, they're gonna find a way to drop games they shouldn't drop. Got them losing to Chicago. I got them taking an L to Green Bay and Detroit. I got them taking an L at New England. And I got them finishing the season with 2 L's at Denver and versus us. And that's in LA where they can't beat us. We got some voodoo over them at SoFi where you just know Patrick Mahomes is going to lead that game-winning drive and finish it throwing it to Kelsey every time. And they're just not going to stop it. And if I could bet the exact sequence of events going like that for that game, I would do it. I bet the house on it because it's happened the last 3 years in a row. But yeah, I got them finishing 10-7 as well. Second, and with that record, I don't know if they make the playoffs. And if they don't make the playoffs, since Justin Herbert just became the highest paid quarterback with his $262.5 million deal, Brandon Staley is gone. Even though he might not necessarily be the problem. It's either the quarterback or the coach. They don't pay the quarterback. It's got to be the coach. It just is what it is. So I think he'll be out of a job after this year because for him to keep his job, I think the Chargers realistically would have to make the AFC Championship game, and I don't think that's happening. And if they don't make the playoffs, he's for sure gone. If they make the divisional round and get a playoff win in the wild card, it's debatable. They probably say, oh, well, we made progress, so they might give him another year. But if they don't and they lose in the wild card or don't make the playoffs, Brandon Staley's for sure gone. And then maybe they promote Kellen Moore to head coach, depending on how the offense looks. Maybe they go find another offensive guru elsewhere. But then it's looking very bleak for the Chargers, who now have this franchise quarterback. I think this is probably Keenan Allen's last year with them because they're not going to be able to pay him and keep him unless he wants to take a big pay cut. They do have an interesting wide receiver corps. All 4 of their top wide receivers are all 6 foot plus. So it's going to be jump ball galore over in LA. I don't know who's going to be able to stop it. I know our corners are going to have problems. Mike Williams kills us every year. The only way we can stop him is if he's injured. Keenan Allen gonna get his. Quentin Johnson, the first round draft pick from TCU. He's gonna be interesting. I think he'll be nice just off the strength he's playing with Justin Herbert. But yeah, 10-7, second place. Who knows if that gets them into the playoffs? But it's gonna be right on the fringe of it. I don't know. And then first place, obviously.
Yeah,
I already know what the deal is, man.
We know,
Chiefs.
Man. Come on, we know.
Now I'm gonna go first because Cam said he got something wild to say. I got something wild to say. I want to preface this by saying first, I'm thinking like this schedule that I just laid out for the Chiefs, it's contingent on that we re-sign Chris Jones. Brett Veach, if you somehow hear this podcast, man, just sign him. We have the opportunity to have a top 5 defense for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career. Do not let this go down the drain. If we can win a Super Bowl, we can win 2 Super Bowls having not even a top 15 defense, a top 5 defense. We're going to go undefeated.
It's automatic. Yeah, it's automatic.
We're going to go undefeated. So the first time I ran through our schedule, I was like, I got us losing to the Chargers, if anybody. But I was like, win. I was like, oh, my God. We don't play the Chargers in L.A. till the last game of the season. And I was thinking we might lose there. I was like, nah. I don't think I even want us to go 17-0. But it'd be crazy if we were able to pull off the undefeated season. Because then it's like, he's all ready to go, but then you really can't say Patrick Mahomes not to go because he just did what Brady couldn't. But I went back and I changed it to we lose versus the Chargers in what is that, week 7? And then that's the only L we take. We're going 16-1, baby, as long as we stay healthy, as long as we got Chris Jones. Trent McDuffie finna solidify himself as a top 5 quarterback. Travis Kelce, 8th straight year with 1,000 yards, further solidifying himself as a GOAT tight end. Patrick Mahomes, he'll probably go for 45 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. He won't get MVP, though, because he's now in that LeBron category where it's like, oh, he's just supposed to do that. That's normal. Pacheco, year 2. We got a still in the draft. Not even in the draft. Undrafted running back, too, probably by the end of the year. And Deneric Prince out of Tulsa. Jerick McKinnon's still the best blocking running back in the league. Rashee Rice, Justin Ross, Sky Moore. We don't know who getting the ball, but I think they all finna be cold. Kadarius Toney, if he can stay healthy.
Oh, man.
MVS in year 2. The deep ball connection with him and Pat finna go crazy. And let me tell y'all right now, I don't know if we gonna have the balls to do it in the regular season, but I'm telling you right now, this Sunday, when we play New Orleans in the preseason, I would assume Patrick, last year, they let him get the first drive. I bet money they try that behind the back screen pass they did in practice the other day. They've been practicing and practicing for the last couple of years. Like, yeah, we're going to do it eventually. I figured they try that in the preseason because you can't try that in the regular season and that go wrong. But at the same time, they did do that loop-de-loop shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Raiders, so
I was like, what are they doing?
No, but I'm willing to bet at least in one of these preseason games, they try that behind the back pass and break the internet. But yeah, man, 16-1. Well, I'm going to save predictions for the season. It's going to be hard to repeat. Nobody's done it since 03-04 Patriots, but man, we could get Chris Jones back and get a top 5 defense. We stay healthy on the offensive side of the ball. Got arguably the top 3 offensive line. Who's going to stop us if we being real? You're going to have to pray and hope that Mahomes has that second half he had versus Cincy in the 21 AFC title game. But if not, we can't be beat. We can't be beat.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We cannot be beat, man. I can't wait. Get to watch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs play football again, man. It's such a beautiful sight to see. It's been so exciting watching football these last 5 years. I tried to tell y'all last year we was winning the Super Bowl. This year, y'all find out a couple weeks how I feel. I'm just saying, 16-1. Book it. What happened after we won the Super Bowl last time in that following season? We went 15-1. I'm sorry, I think we went 14-2 because we sat all our players the last game versus the Chargers because we didn't have to play them. Looking very much the same this year. I'm just saying. But because Baltimore and Jacksonville are going to be pretty good, I think we'll still play them just to make sure we solidify getting that first seed, home field advantage. the Arrowhead Invitational. You know what I'm saying? The AFC runs through KC. You already know what the deal is. Man. But yeah, 16-1 for my Chiefs. Another spectacular year for Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if it'll garner a back-to-back MVP, even though it's going to be hard to look back at his career if he doesn't get a back-to-back MVP somewhere in there. He should, but with the way the media and people treat him now, I don't know if it'll be possible. But what crazy stuff you got to say about my Chiefs, man?
So you look at this roster, this beautiful roster. You see all this young talent, great talent all around. You got Pacheco, you got Jared McKinnon, you got Say, you got Prince, running back. The running back room is filled up. And you look at the receivers. You see Tony, you see MVS, you see Sky Moore, you see Rasheed Rice, you see Justin Ross, you see Travis Kelce, you see the offensive line. This might be the best offense that Patrick has had in his career,
Which is crazy.
And then you go to the defense. This is for sure the best defense he has ever had in his career. Like he said, for sure can be top 5. And then he goes to the quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, come on, we all know who he is, but
the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Last year he swept literally everything, every reward.
Never been done before.
Never ever been done before.
And there's still people saying he's not the best quarterback in the league. What are we doing here?
Still not saying he's the best, but he got 2 rings now. He got 2 MVPs, 3 MVPs,
2
MVPs.
Super Bowl MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs, 2 Super Bowl, 5 AFC championships hosted.
Okay, so look, this is the best start we have ever seen ever.
Point blank period.
Point blank period.
Yes, Tom Brady had 3 in his first seasons, or 3 Super Bowls, but he wasn't putting up the numbers. The defense was carrying them back then. He didn't even win his first MVP till 2008. So now we just sitting here. What is next with Patrick Mahomes? I wonder what's next with Patrick Mahomes. First hot take of the year. I'm gonna tell you what's next for Patrick Mahomes. In year 7, a crazy coincidence. Year 7 for Patrick Mahomes is year 7. Tom Brady in year 7. If y'all don't know, he went undefeated. He went 16-0. The same year 7 in his career, I'm predicting Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to go 17-0. First time ever. Somebody got to do it. Why not? Why can't it be Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, look, I think they go 17-0. I just think that y'all are on a completely different level than everybody else. I think now everybody's seeing Patrick Mahomes is just by far just better than everybody in the league. This is like Patrick Mahomes is like everybody else. Like it's like there's nobody like even like remotely. The gap between the second best quarterback and the 5th, 6th best quarterback is closer than the gap between 1 and 2. Exactly. And right now, I'll give it to Joe Burrow as number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
But it's still as good as Joe Burrow is. It's a clear gap.
It's still a clear gap.
What they do,
and everybody sees it now. But I think after this year, go 17-0. We're gonna get to our predictions, for postseason, whatever. He goes 17-0, and at that point, he's gonna back-to-back MVPs this year for sure.
Bruh, if he goes 17-0 and they don't give him the MVP, it'll be a riot. We have to riot.
It'll be a riot. But no, he has like if he goes 17-0, he has to be MVP. I mean, no offense to Buzz, but yeah, I think y'all go 17-0, back-to-back MVP. Because I mean, at that point, he's probably looking around like, well, what's next? I'm done. I've done everything.
What's next?
Why not
a three-peat? Now that ain't never been done.
Yes.
If we were to pull off a three-peat, obviously a lot has to go right for that to happen. Health, luck, all that. But if he realistically, let's say the Chiefs really just go on a three-peat run after this year, second, next year they win it again. I get Tom Brady beat us in the Super Bowl. I get he beat us in the AFC Championship in Mahomes' first game. There is not a single argument you can ever make that would say Tom Brady is better than Patrick Mahomes at that point.
It's none at all. At
My
all.
God, come on, man. Us Chiefs fans, this is what we waited for. We used to pray for times like this, to ride like this. Like, come on, man. It's a great time to be in the Chiefs kingdom. I'm just saying, Cam. I think your Texans are gonna be good this year, but if shit hits the fan quick, it's an open spot on the bandwagon. I've been telling you for some years. You're free to join, man. Hop on while you can.
Man, just
it's
let
a
me
fun time over here.
Look. Just let me be a Patrick Mahomes fan, all right? Let me suffer for my Texans. Let me suffer for my Texans, okay? Look, we in some exciting times, for the Texans too. Got some young core going on. Still got some draft picks for next year. A lot of draft picks next year from for my Texans, but just let me be the biggest Patrick Mahomes fan, okay? I'm the biggest, one of the biggest. Okay, he's the biggest Patrick Mahomes fan. I'll be the second biggest. I'll be the second biggest Patrick Mahomes fan for sure. But yeah, man. Hey, I'm predicting 17-0. You ain't want to say it. Hey, I'm gonna say it. 17-0.
I wanted because I'm clearly biased. I just wanted to give us one loss, but I like the 17-0. I went through that record. I was like, man, this looked like 17-0 to me.
Man, I was going.
I'll be humble. I'll give us an L. But I'm just saying, man, the defense. Like I said, Chris Jones is the biggest point. But do y'all realize last year the Chiefs started 6 rookies on defense, and there were only 2 other teams in the NFL to do that. And they were your Texans and the Chicago Bears, 2 of the worst teams in the league last year. And then the Chiefs, on the other hand, just won the Super Bowl with 6 rookies on defense who are all returning with that full experience. Starting McDuffie, got Williams, the corner. Brian Cook, who's now going to probably be the second safety across from Justin Reed. We might arguably have the best linebacking core in the whole league. Nick Bolton, who should have been on the NFL Top 100. Willie Gay. We got Drew Tranquil from our rivals, the Chargers. One of the best cover linebackers in the league. Leo Chenal, his second year. A bone bruiser out of Wisconsin. Like you said, the running back room. Offensive line, Creed, who I don't know how he did not make the NFL Top 100. First team All-Pro. I get Jason Kelsey's been doing it for 13 years. So I won't argue against him not being better than Jason Kelsey, even though I think he is right now given his age and youth. But still, not making the NFL Top 100. Trey Smith, his anchor to the right side. Joe Tooney to his left. Our tackles. I know it's a big question mark because one's playing right tackle Jawan Taylor, and then we got a dude from the Buccaneers who had a bad year last year, but he was injured. But like I said, Orlando Brown had the highest pressure rate in the league last year. Patrick Mahomes made it work on one ankle throughout the whole playoffs. 17-0, man. God, I'm just praying for a healthy year. I'm just praying that you let us sign Chris Jones. I'm just praying that you keep Travis Kelce healthy for another year. I'm just praying that you keep Andy Reid coaching us for the next decade so we can get about 6 more of these rings and it can be undisputed. Yeah, man. Like I said, prediction episode coming later. I'm just saying. 3-peat in the works. Never before done in the NFL. It's got to be done, right? Sometime.
Somebody got to do it, right?
Somebody got to do it.
Someone has to do it.
Why not us, man? Why not us? But that wraps up our AFC preview, our way too early preview. Like I said, it is August 9th. We still got a month of football. The first actual week of preseason starts tomorrow. Yeah, man. We're excited to be back. Gonna start pumping episodes out every week. Y'all already know how we get down. Gonna come with the best picks in the NFL. I don't got the stats on hand, but last year, if you tell the picks, if you tell the max plays, you came out with some money. We were great last year.
It was good.
We only about to get better, man. We only about to get better. If you are gonna be first off, I was about to say if you're gonna be a degenerate and bet preseason football, don't let nobody tell you you're a degenerate for betting preseason football. You are just one bet away from hitting it big. So you go lock in that bet if you listen to me. But if you're gonna lock in something, one bet at the very least for week 1 preseason, Baltimore Ravens, man. We hopped on it last year. I think it's like
I forgot
4 years of the preseason road they have not lost. And I think they've
that.
covered damn near every game besides like 2 of them. Bet the cover, bet Ravens ML, take it to the bank.
Yes,
and if you got
every
another
time.
game that you think, this team can win or this over or under might hit, pair it with Ravens ML, lock it in. Giving out free game. I need it. Y'all know how this goes. If you're new here, get on the boat. Get with the program. This is how it goes. We give y'all the winners. Y'all go lock in the picks. You make some money. That's how it
Yes,
goes,
sir.
man. We got y'all all year long. Like I said, we just getting back started. Season 2 of the I Need It Sports podcast. It's your boys, Bryce, my dog Cam. I ain't said it in a minute, but we out.
Yes, sir.
We are the kids in the name. Yes, sir. We out, man. We out.
I need it.